What a head, son! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Davey FPL and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll take you guys through my transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 10. So as you always do in these transfer plans, I'm going to be going over the Game Week 9 review as it currently is. We still do have the Leicester vs Nottingham Forest game coming up tonight. Then the team selection coming up later in the week, I'll update you guys with the final ranking and also what happened in that Leicester game. So after a quick review of kind of Game Week 9, seeing what players got injured, what players kind of performed well, what players performed badly, we're then going to move on to my transfer plan heading into the upcoming game week. Now let me know how you guys actually did in Game Week 9. If you wildcarded, how did the wildcard go? I've seen quite a few wildcard drafts that unfortunately have not been performing as well as you would have liked them to. But if you didn't wildcard, hopefully it was a good game week for you, and I'll show you guys how I did in the next talking point. So that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So going over the Game Week 9 team review, as I mentioned, the Leicester vs Nottingham Forest game is still coming up tonight, but I have other videos planned for this week, so the transfer plan fitted in nicely on Monday night. So if anything happens in that game, such as a Maddison injury, a Maddison hat-trick, we'll address that in the team selection coming up, but for now, just consider that game as null and void. Now starting off our Game Week 9 review, bottom right hand side, you can see 74 points, pretty respectable, but in terms of the kind of green arrow or red arrow, it was almost a grey arrow. So yes, even though we managed to get a massive 74 points, kind of middle of the park, almost a safety score, as we have a green arrow of just about 50k places. Now I do still have Maddison to play tonight, and his effective ownership is around 15% where I'm currently ranked, so kind of any points from him are going to be positive gains. So currently we are sitting at just around that 1 million mark, just above it to be honest, but hopefully with Maddison's score tonight, we get within the 1 million. Now we do have one transfer going into Game Week 10 and 1.5 in the bank, so we can make a significant upgrade. But as I mentioned earlier on in the introduction, let me know how you guys performed. Did you get more or less than 74 points? But chances are if you didn't captain Haaland, probably was a pretty bad game week. Starting off on our bench, and unfortunately we did have kind of a benching headache here. Kurt Zouma with 6 points. We brought in Dominic Solanke, who I'll talk about later on, but we also could have just benched Isaac and played Kurt Zouma, as I was actually confident about a clean sheet. So that's exactly what happened with Kurt Zouma. No kind of bonus points, no attacking returns, just the 6 standard points for a clean sheet after that game against Wolves. Other than that, Andreas Pereira with only 2 points, pretty lackluster performance for Fulham, picking up the red card pretty early on, and fortunately nothing really came from an attacking point of view. We then have Danny Ward and Neco Williams going head to head tonight. Who's going to keep a clean sheet? Probably neither of them. Although I do just hope that Ward actually starts tonight, because there's been some concerns about maybe Iverson taking his place. But all comment on these two options in the team selection coming up later this week. Going on to our starting 11, and Nick Pope got 2 points. Now I was super surprised to see that he actually lost the clean sheet. I kind of checked off 4-0, Newcastle looking dominant. Then what happens? They actually concede a goal with one of the only shots that Fulham ended up having. So yes, Pope actually lost his clean sheet to 10-man Fulham, and Mitrovic is also injured and was off the pitch. So I don't really know what to say about that. Is it unlucky? Is it not? I thought it was a little bit unlucky there, and that's going to result in Pope only getting 2 points. But don't you know what to say about this Newcastle defense? Thought they get a clean sheet against Bournemouth in Game Week 8. That didn't happen. They conceded one of the only shots that Bournemouth had. We then have this week against Fulham, 10-man Fulham, conceding one of the only shots they've taken. It just seems like this Newcastle clean sheet can't come about. So would I've actually been better off playing Danny Ward? Potentially. Let's just see what happens tonight in that fixture. We're then going to move on to the rest of our defensive department with Cancelo only a 1-point appearance. I guess the United game, the Manchester derby, not really too upset that he conceded in this game, but when you did see how dominant Man City were, I guess there was a little bit of surprise that at the end of that fixture, they conceded 3 goals. Added to that, Cancelo actually fouled Martial for that last goal, but at least he wasn't given negative points for that. But once again, we are seeing how Cancelo's kind of fallen off those attacking returns. Man City aren't as reliant on him for that attacking threat, and it was actually his left back partner Gomez, who came on for Kyle Walker, that actually got an assist. So I don't really know what to do with Cancelo at the moment, but with the way Man City are playing at the moment, I'll probably just keep hold of him, as I don't really need too much funds. We're then going to move on to our second defender. Trippier actually got a clean sheet in that Newcastle vs Fulham game. He was subbed off towards the end of the fixture, and this shows you how late Fulham actually ended up scoring. He also got 1 added bonus point, was on 2, but unfortunately towards the end of that fixture dropped off, with Willock taking 2 bonus points. But still, super happy that I kept Trippier, even happier that he actually was subbed, because I needed that clean sheet at the end of the day. Now from an attacking point of view, I thought that maybe Trippier was a little bit unlucky not to get any attacking returns, was quite involved in a few of their attacks, but also a little bit of a concern like Cancelo, Newcastle scoring 4 goals and Trippier getting no attacking returns. However, added to that kind of unlucky nature, Trippier crosses in the ball, looks a clear header for the Newcastle player. He misses the header and it goes to the right hand side, and I think it was Callum Wilson who just tapped it in. So that should have been an assist at the end of the day for Trippier, and I guess a little bit unlucky in terms of the Newcastle finishing. Then adding on to our kind of unlucky nature of our defense, we then have Reece James, who had a little bit of a lackluster performance against Crystal Palace. However, I will say that I wasn't really expecting too much against Crystal Palace, as they are quite a strong team at home. But Reece James only got the 2 appearance points, and yet again, these more premium defenders aren't really showing their weight or their value, as even Trent also only got 1 point. But let's hope that we have some more luck in the midfield department, and luckily we are going to start off with Kevin De Bruyne. Managed to get 2 attacking returns, 2 assists in that Man City game against United, 6 goals scored though, and him only being involved in 2 of them was a little bit disappointing, but I guess I will take those 8 points as he was the best kind of midfield premium. Now with KDB, kind of a big debate was him versus Salah, Game Week 8 versus Game Week 9 wildcarders, and as of Game Week 9, looks like the Game Week 8 wildcarders have the better hand, but who knows what's going to happen in Game Week 10. Next up is going to be Maddison. Can't really talk about him, but the only thing I will say is that at his effective ownership at my rank bracket, pretty low, so any points that he scores are going to be quite helpful. We then have our 2 Arsenal midfielders, Martinelli and then also Saka. Martinelli picked up a nice assist in the North London derby. Saka unfortunately ended up blanking. However, he was first on Saturday for chances created, and therefore, like Trippier, might have been a little bit unlucky not to get an attacking return. I really needed Saka to perform this week when Jared Bowen gets kind of a double-digit haul. Last week it looked a little bit better. Saka managed to get us some points. But this week probably looks better to have gone for Bowen after these kind of Game Week 9 theatrics. So quite sad because Arsenal scored a few goals and also Spurs went down to 10 men. But at the end of the day, Saka was a little bit unlucky maybe not to get anything. But now moving on to our forward department, I'm going to start off with the player of the week. It's going to be Haaland with a massive 46 points because I ended up captaining him. If you guys didn't, that's super unlucky there. I didn't really think the difference between Salah, Maddison and Haaland would have been so high. And it just brings me back to Game Week 9 of last season when I went and captained Havertz. So I relate to your pain, don't worry, drop it in the comments down below or my Discord server. I'll relate to you as this happened to me last season, and don't worry, I still managed to get top 10k, so it's really not the end of the world. But what more needs to be said about Haaland? Kind of a hat-trick, 2 assists, massive performance, and the only lucky thing I guess is not owning Phil Foden in our triple up. But I'm pretty sure most of you did captain Haaland, and that's why I think the score is going to be so high, or the average for this game week is going to be so high. And I'll say it again, he looks like a really permanent captain option. Now I want to just touch on this because I do think a lot of people are kind of being annoyed at Haaland, saying that it's kind of boring to just perma-captain him every single game week. But what I'll add to that is that if everyone's going to perma-captain Haaland, it increases that chance of actually captaining someone different and getting those net gains. What I'm saying by this is that if everyone's going to captain Haaland, be that extra one, and all you have to do is hope that he outperforms, but please accept the risk. If you're going to captain anyone but Haaland, you have to accept the risk right now that he could actually end up performing like he did in Game Week 9, and then your captain ends up blanking. But I'm looking at it as a kind of positive because the chance of going up the ranks is even higher. All you have to do is you have to be confident that your captain is going to outperform Haaland. But we'll be talking about it in the Ultimate Guide coming up because I do think there's some weight to that debate. The next forward to go for, unfortunately, managed to get injured, kind of picked up an injury break knock, and that was exerted in the Prem game. It's going to be Mitrovic for Fulham. So unfortunately, he also got a yellow card in the first half, then was subbed, so it was going to result in a 0-point appearance. So yes, I'm not going to be getting Kurt Zouma off the bench, would really have liked that, but at the end of the day, let's just hope that Mitrovic is back for Game Week 10. Then finally, go on to our transfer in for this week. If you guys didn't watch the kind of deadline stream, I took out Isaac for Solanke, and he ended up blanking against Brentford. Now, I guess Brentford was quite a tough game, but I thought there might have been a chance that Bournemouth would score against them, as Brentford's defensive form hasn't been that great. But alas, that game ends 0-0, but all I'll say is that the Giga Chad Solanke outperformed the beta Ivan Toney pick, as Toney picked up yellow card and only 1 point. But only joking there, obviously with him, I'm expecting to blank most kind of game weeks, but was a little bit annoyed at how Kurt Zouma outperformed him, and maybe that was a wiser decision to actually play him. But at the end of the day, 74 points, hopefully Maddison does something tonight, and that'll put us within the top 1 million. Let me know how you guys are doing and how your overall rank is doing. Probably better than mine at the current moment. But just remember, there's a lot of game weeks still to happen. 28 game weeks to be more precise. And I'm sure we can get more green arrows from now till then. But now we're going to move on to the transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 10. And as you guys would have seen, 1 transfer and 1.5 in the bank. So quite a significant upgrade can actually be done. Now the first player I want to talk about is going to be Mitrovic because unfortunately, as I mentioned, that actually picked up an injury in Game Week 9. And we don't exactly know the extent of it as he is being examined. But if Mitrovic is going to be out for a prolonged amount of time, we'll probably have to transfer him out. But let's wait and see on that news. Now in terms of replacements for Mitrovic, someone actually asked us on my Discord channel this morning and I honestly couldn't really reply because there's not that many options I'm currently looking at. Solanke already have, Haaland already have, don't have enough money for a Harry Kane upgrade. However, that could be a move with 2 free transfers. So what I could actually do if I want to go for Kane, could just bank a transfer this week and then make that come Game Week 11. But in terms of other replacements, I was looking at maybe a Gabriel Jesus, but Arsenal blanking Game Week 12, and that gives me one more option to kind of bench because he doesn't have a fixture. And Ivan Toney has some tough fixtures coming up. Now yes, you could go for Daka and Iheanacho, have some nice fixtures coming up, but they aren't really as nailed as I would like. And therefore for me, I probably will just bench Mitrovic as long as he isn't out for a long amount of time. Now I think the West Ham fixture was probably a hard game anyway, so let's just hope for Game Week 11 against Bournemouth that Romy is back, because I do fancy him against the newly promoted side. But obviously if he is going to be out for a long amount of time, I probably will have to shift him out, and therefore that one free transfer might be used on Mitrovic for Game Week 9. But we're now going to move on to the other transfer plan that we kind of had already planned out from our Game Week 8 wildcard transfer plan, and that's going to be Saka out. Now I did actually plan to take Saka out since my Game Week 8 wildcard as mentioned, but now I'm kind of thinking about it once or twice. So if you guys do see the fixture upcoming, it's going to be Liverpool at home, he then has Leeds away and then blanks, so those next two fixtures on paper don't actually look that bad. Obviously you guys would have seen Brighton kind of scoring 3 against Liverpool. Arsenal have a better attack at the moment, so imagine what they're going to do. So I want you guys to comment down below, would you guys actually take Saka out before Liverpool at home? Is a home game, Arsenal look good, Liverpool look terrible, surely Saka gets an attacking return there. But in terms of the transfer plan, or at least the planned one that I was going to do, was going to be Saka to Zaha for that nice fixture run. So you guys will see that Zaha has Leeds at home, great fixture, Leicester away, great fixture, Wolves at home, kind of a mediocre fixture, but you guys saw with Bowen, Zaha can maybe even get a double-digit attacking return against them. So this was going to be the planned transfer for the upcoming game week, but because Liverpool are defending so badly, I might have to rethink this, and I might actually just bank it, as long as Mitrovic is going to be back to full fitness soon. But we could always do this move. I could also go for a Jarrod Bowen. But as mentioned, you guys can let me in the comments down below. Would you take Saka out for Zaha this week? Or would you give Saka the next 2 game weeks, as the next 2 don't look that bad on paper? Then come game week 12, 2 free transfers probably banked for that. Then we can always take them out. But let me know what your transfer plans are for the upcoming game week. And please also remember that we do have Champions League football coming up tomorrow and also Wednesday. But this is the video, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you didn't, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. See you guys for tons of content coming up tomorrow through to Thursday and for the Friday night deadline. But I sign off with Davey FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.